Now, it's day 2 of Jacob Zuma's application to remove Prosecutor Billy Downer from the corruption trial. And on Tuesday, the former president's legal team argued that Downer and the eNCA lacked the legal title to try him for corruption. Now, today, Pietermaritzburg will, of course, conclude his arguments on behalf of the state. eNCA senior political reporter, that's Siphamandla Goge, is at the High Court in Pietermaritzburg and joins us now to give us an update. Good morning to you, Siphamandla. Just a reflection of what happened yesterday. We definitely know that it was almost a tit-for-tat between the former president's legal team as well as the eNCA arguing their case.
Indeed, it was heated. You know, just from the morning we saw those heated arguments between Advocate Dalimpofu and Judge Piet Koen. So this is how it played out yesterday. The first part of the morning belonged to Advocate Dalimpofu opposing and arguing why medical records of former President Jacob Zuma should not be tabled and presented in court. The state had initially wanted those medical records to be presented in court. The state had subpoenaed the outgoing National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Arthur Fraser, the man who granted former President Jacob Zuma a medical parole, to come and basically give or hand over those medical records and the documents. And then the former president's legal team vigorously opposed that. In the end, Judge Piet Koen ended up saying, okay, let's park this matter for now. We'll deal with it at a later stage. I had set down this matter for 2 days, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, to hear the special plea hearing. So the special plea hearing really is about former President Jacob Zuma wanting the state lead prosecutor, Advocate Billy Downer, to be removed from prosecuting this case. He says he is compromised. He has acted in a compromising manner, irregular manner, so therefore he is not fit to prosecute this matter. He has argued and alleged that he was responsible for leaking the medical records of the former president, something which the state denies, by the way. So yesterday we saw those arguments playing out. Let's take a listen to what Advocate Mpofu had to say.
For the record, my lord, we are not saying Mr. Downer is the only person who is disqualified. He just happens to be the only one who's here for now of those people. But see, we would raise the same objection, my lord, if and we're not involved or interested in the factional battles within the eNCA, whether these ones wanted the prosecution to proceed and these ones, they didn't want the prosecution to proceed. All of them are disqualified. Whether they were on this side of that debate or this other side, they could not come here now. So what I'm saying, my lord, is that if it was Mr. Hofmeyer or Mr. Mshe or Mr. Pikoli or Mr. Nzuka or Mr. Downer, all of them would be disqualified to conduct this particular prosecution. Why? Because, or Mr. McCarthy, for that matter, because they are all mired in the mud that is surrounding this matter. So it is of no use for him to say, no, it was not only me. Well, it doesn't matter. But the point is that we wouldn't say just because Mr. Hofmeyer, for example, was in favor of dropping the prosecution, if he came here, he would be equally disqualified because he himself has been mired in this controversy.
Well, we understand, Siphamandla, that, of course, Pietermaritzburg had an opportunity as well to respond to Advocate Dalimpofu.
Indeed, he had an opportunity to respond, and his response was very simple. He dismissed all the allegations, vigorously defended the state lead prosecutor, Advocate Billy Downer. Of course, Downer couldn't argue in this matter because it concerns him, so the state then procured the services of Pietermaritzburg to argue on behalf of Billy Downer and the state or the prosecutions. Basically, Vem says, listen, these allegations are not new. They've been made in the past. It's a rehash of what has been alleged but not proven. He says there is nothing that the prosecutions or Advocate Billy Downer has done which is wrong. He says when it comes to the allegations of leaking former President Jacob Zuma's medical records and information to the media, he dismissed that, saying, well, It was not leaking. Basically, that was public information. The document was submitted, so therefore the media had inquired about that document. They needed to get that document, so it's not that it was leaked per se. Let's take a listen to what he said.
My learned friend, Mr. Mpofu, says a prosecutor must be dispassionate in performing his function. And then he makes an argument that Mr. Downer is not dispassionate. And what is his example? He says that there was a meeting at the NPA at which a presentation was made by Mr. Hofmeyer about the spy tax, which moved Mr. Downer to tears. So, says my learned friend, this is not a dispassionate prosecutor. What a distortion. What a distortion of the facts. The facts are that Mr. Downer attended a seminar in which Mr. Hofmeyer revealed the discovery of the spy tapes and the misconduct that the spy tapes revealed. And what appalled Mr. Downer was this revelation of the misconduct by the leadership of the NPA, who had improperly and unlawfully conspired to interfere with his prosecution. It was his indignity about the injustice of this unlawful conduct which moved him to tears. He should be applauded. He should be given a medal for that conduct. To suggest that that was a symptom of a prosecutor unfit to prosecute because he's lacking in dispassion is an appalling suggestion.
Siphamandla Goge, we leave it there, and thank you so much for this update. eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge out in Pietermaritzburg.